Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
The new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansada.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamid.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan. Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldon.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
Mine is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
TNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Hotline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and More.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You've got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the new channel, here to help you see the new you. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo, your host to this wonderful program, the HR Hotline. It's a wonderful day. The sun is up. And before I prepared for this episode, I was out there in my garden doing gardening, of course, changing the plants. Because I noticed it was actually the vernal equinox a week ago. And then the sun actually changed its course. And those parts that are actually where it's not so sunny, there is already a shade. So I have to change again those plants that need sunshine and those plants that needs actually a little less of the sunlight. I will tell you why I started with that. But before I continue, I would like to greet my brother-in-law. You know, I only have one brother-in-law. I have two sisters-in-law. I dedicated the episode on women empowerment with Ching and Jo. This time, my brother-in-law is having his birthday. It was actually yesterday, but they are celebrating it at Missibis. I remember my dear friend, Attorney Antoinette Aliones, who is now the CEO of the Philippine Tourism Board, wherein they actually endorses that for those who are actually in a bubble, you can still move around and have a normal life, but be very careful. Because, you know, in my feed, a lot of my friends are really actually experiencing the sadness, what do you call this? The contagion. And you know, every time that I read that, I always have to say a prayer. The wife of Mar de los Reyes, a former manager of mine in Inquirer, she's already gone, Feli. May she rest in peace. Then the cousin of Pearly Mongkoyan, and a lot. Now, I would like to continue why I started with changing my plants who need sunlight and those plants that are actually should be in the shade. You know, woe to us in HR. It is actually not nice to hear, and it's actually a little bit insulting if our human resources, the employees under us, will have a rant or a complaint or two that we are not sensitive. Just imagine our malasakit is actually in question. You know, I have group chats for my students in the certification classes with PIMA. I have Kulto ni Jesse. These are my students in Sambeda. And I have Parokya ni Jesse. These are actually my students in UNP. And I have the UNP ladies. And I have the IR. And, you know, this is where I get the pubs. The things that I mentioned, that we discuss here on Thursdays. And, you know, this one, I got it from my student. It's actually how to ensure employee engagement and productivity now that we are actually in the pandemic. And we are forced to be working from home, only 30, 40, 50% in the office. And that we're actually doing the hour alternative working arrangements. But of course, as HR, because we are the owners of performance management, the question is, how can we ensure? So, Charisse is already here. Who else are here? Let me know. There are a bit many already. Let me know. Can you just say hello for my friends who are here that I invited to be with me, to join me, share their inputs. Then we can start. Charisse, the question is, we are in a pandemic. How can we ensure that our employees are engaged? We are not talking of engagement programs here. This is actually the concern of HR in coordination with the supervisors to ensure that people perform. That people actually, yes, Mark Hernandez is actually here. Mark, thank you. Am I direct? Am I back? Direct. 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 I would like to know if I am back. Direct. Direct. I would like to know if I am back. Direct. Can you hear me? Can I hear us? Can you tell me, Mark or Ophel, if you can see and hear me? I would just like to check. There is actually a problem in our connectivity. Continue communicating with our. Excuse me first. I just would like to know if you can hear me and see me, because I was dropped a moment ago. Direct, am I still in? Mark, can you hear me? Ophel, Charisse, I would like to know. This is actually a problem when you are in. Yes, I just would like to know. Anyway, so I think because they are actually commenting, I am back. Okay, thank you, Ophel. So let us spot on Mark. Mark here has a direct and spot on Mark. Continue communicating with your employees. Yes. So to ensure, the question is, how can we ensure engagement and productivity with our employees? You know, the problem there is between HR and the supervisors, because the supervisors, of course, would like to have what do you call this, results. And then they would like to ask that the contribution of HR, what are we going to do that we ensure the employees are actually performing? And Mark, really good, you spot it on. Continue communicating with the employees. The question here, Mark, is how? Synchronous, in a sense, synchronous, should be it on Messenger, should it be on text? Are you going to, what will be your strategies? Are you going to give them memo if they don't actually submit the reports on time, and that will really affect their pagtampo yun? Okay, Ophel here, can we spot on Ophel? Thank you, Mark. We always go back to the basics. Leaders, immediate supervisors must stay connected with their teams. Right. At this point, leading virtually is critical. Yeah, that is actually the problem that I receive from my students of FEL. How are we going to engage them that they are actually working, including HR at this time. Business should continue, but the problem, employees are not actually performing to the fullest. So this is our concern. And Mark and Ophelia are actually correct. One is continued communication, yes. And Ophelia is telling us that it's actually, now, dapat, we should have actually trained our supervisors how to deal with these problems. Yes. Thank you, Ophel. Can we see and hear you? Yes. Now, Ophel again, the last one, one-on-one on team catch-up continues. Schedule this religiously, text and virtual platform. So it's actually a communication problem. Engagement here, engagement here, it's actually an integrated, what do you call this? It's actually linked. Everything is linked. Your culture, the training of your supervisors, and actually your communication, how you are going to deal with. This is the time that HR should really be reaching out. The problem is, this is not anymore face-to-face. that you're going to reach out every day. Not the formatted ones that every morning you send prayers, you send good morning. Not that one. Not that one. Can we spot on Ophel? Even 15 minutes per person to catch up and see how they can help the members achieve their goals. Just imagine Ophel, if you have 150 employees, that means you really have to schedule calls so that they will be. So it's actually now the effort is actually helping the operations to motivate them to work. You know, the HR who posed this question is actually dealing with their sales. They have a problem on their salespeople because the salespeople are telling them there is no market. But of course, the management is actually pushing their salesperson to produce, to come up with leads. So the question is, how are you going to motivate them to ensure that they really produce? Ophel here, before Ophel, we have Mark Hernandez. Use different forms of platforms to engage them, be it Viber, WhatsApp, and other forms. I agree, Mark. I agree, Mark. Not only on one, not only on Facebook, calls, texts. This is similar on what we were doing before. During the face-to-face, we have billboards, we have the bulletin board, we have meetings. You have to use. This is the time now that we're going to use all the communication platforms. Yes. Then we have Ophel for HR, have regular catch-ups with managers and supervisors to see how they are doing the same with their teams. Right. So all those, we're going to share this later on. Thank you, Ophel, for reminding us. Put that in our calendar that I think regularly we have to meet with the leaders, and it is our job that actually to ask them what, this is actually, Ophel, your HR business partnering. You have to partner with operations and then ask them what you can contribute to ensure that the people under marketing, under accounting are actually performing. Yes, we have Charis. We should ask them their well-being. Ay, Charis, you're really good. The woman of substance with a heart. We should ask their well-being, mental, social, spiritual, and physical. Yes. So this is the time that HR should have taken under me emotional intelligence, work-life integration, all the spirituality. You should have been prepared, because actually this time when you're going to reach out to the people, you're going to ask them the dimensions. Actually, it is COVI. Alam mo, Charis, that this is actually COVI. Mental, social, spiritual, and physical. These are the dimensions of life. I have that in my emotional intelligence webinars. And that is actually a point wherein HR can intervene. Asking Charis, asking, can you spot on Charis? Asking lang, how are you feeling today? Oh, that's simple. Spot on Charis. How are you feeling today is okay. And then you can ask them, this is what Vice President Jerry Charis told us, the culture of candor, that when you ask them, they have to answer back and be able to tell you. You have the credibility, and then they believe in you, and they have the faith in you that you can keep things, and then you can ask them. You know, mental health now is actually a concern. Then, yeah, so nice exchanges, more. So the question is how we are going to ensure engagement and I should be very careful with my pronunciation, because Ophel is around. It is not the end, but the and. And we have to make sure that we connect with them. So this is the time that HR should really be good in what we call interpersonal communication. It is not HR for HR. It is actually HR for the organization. You have to make sure that people are actually engaged with what they are doing. Marvin, you are here. Marvin Soilo, a dear friend of mine in Pops and a seasoned HR consultant and trainer. Yes, Marvin, our discussion is about on how HR can contribute and ensure that the human resources, the employees, are actually engaged and are productive. So from Mark Hernandez, we got it now. They should actually, the communication should always be there. And from Ophel, there is that comment that we have to really make sure that we are abreast and then connected also with our leaders and supervisors, and then have regular meetings with them. Mark again mentioned that we have to use all the platforms, and then Charisse and then a lot mention on how we are going. Charisse mentioned of the dimensions of these are the things that you are going to ask from people. Actually, the least that you have to ask is, have you submitted your work? It can be actually, it's not nice. It's not nice. It can be sort of a bullying or shaming. You can first start with, how are you doing now? How are you faring with the pandemic? And then later on, you can just be reminding them, life must continue and you have to submit your output. Yes, Marvin here. Yes, oh my dear friend, Femery Kabantak. Let's spot on Femery. To sustain employee engagement, it is important to underscore individual purpose and contribution to the enterprise, purpose and goals. Spot on Ophel. So this is that I have a slide in my webinar that says this one. This is actually trying to lessening the gap, aligning the personal vision and mission of people to the mission and vision and goals of the organization. I just had that in my basic supervisory seminar, and I do not know if my participant understood me, because I was emphasizing that they must align and make sure that their personal mission and vision, just like now, it's food, it is for your health, and it is for your protection, and then trying to align that to the goals and vision and mission of the company. Thank you, Femery, for that. Marvin here, HR should embrace agile mindset and become a business partner to their stakeholders by providing strategic insights rather than being transactional and administrative only. Spot on, Marvin. Yun na nga yung sinasabi ko, the HR business partnering mindset. Now is the time that you're after what Femery just mentioned, the mission, the vision, and the goals. So it's not actually your department, it's not HR for HR, but it is HR for the organization's performance. I just hope HR must be able to understand this and appreciate this. Ophel, our dear friend Femery is here, but let us spot on Ophel. Start with little things that have big dividends. Involve your direct reports in planning and facilitating your meetings. Yes, right now. Allow them to come up with interesting activities during team meetings. We are in the Holy Week, we are in Lent. Ask them to do something and then ask their engagement. This way, they all look forward to these interactions and they build trust with you. This way, you integrate fun in discussing the points. Right? So all those HR are listening, from Femery to Marvin. These are things that we have to look into now that we are actually on the Lenten break. but we have to do it. This pandemic will still be there for a time, and we have to ensure that work, performance, output, result, output, outcome, impact. That should be, it is actually the results-based management, and then the mindset that we are partnering them. My dear Jerry Plana is here. Okay, can we spot on Jerry? In the first place, we should ensure people love their jobs. Hi, Jerry. That is really very true. So again, we start with acquisition, then the onboarding. This is the most sustainable engagement strategy. This is easier said than done, Jerry. I know that. But no, we have to catch up. This is the time that we have to ensure people love their jobs. Remember that they've been used to doing it face-to-face. So it will is a disruption. They are now working at home. They will be looking for the stapler. They will be looking for the paper. If they're using paper, they're looking for the connectivity. So it's the job of... I have a problem. Why is it that I am... Can you still hear me? Direct, can they still hear me? I can see that I am not... I'm frozen. Direct, why is it that I am frozen? Jerry, in the first place, they should ensure people love their jobs. Direct, yes. And then give them space. Mark here, give them space for their, can you spot on Mark? Give them space for their output. Just make them understand the big picture. Then, oh, Mr. Kamasura is here. My dear friend Engelbert. Yes, Gilbert here. Yes, the topic that we're discussing, Gilbert, is how we are going to make them engage and produce, perform while we are in the pandemic. Then Ophelia, yes. Jesse Lagkaata, yes. Why is it, Monica? Is this a problem of Converge, which is why I'm in my Zala? Then we can hear you, but you are frozen, Sir Jesse. Yes, Jamie, I do know. And Charisse, I can spot on Charisse, create good vibe when holding meetings, thinking outside the box is the okay. Direct, Monica, can we have the break first, and then we fix why I am frozen? Can we have the break first? Direct, Monica, can we have the first break? I am very sorry I was dropped by Converge, but um, let's continue. I will give you the next topic, but I am going to present first some slides. Our next topic will be what are the imperatives and what are the priorities that we need to do to rebound or to recover from this pandemic. So it's our HR imperatives or HR priorities, what we need to do so that while we are in the pandemic, how can we actually ensure that we are moving forward to whatever normal that we are looking into. So before we go into that, before I get your insights, let me see. I will start with Marvin. He has a post here. But can we have direct first, direct Monica or direct Hersey, the slides that we are supposed to present? First, the posters that we are supposed to present. Yes, we have here for my dear friend Virgie Mendoza. PMAP has this program on Teach, and we're inviting all HRM professors and educators. This is actually a wonderful program. I remember when I was the president in 2016, we already have this idea because I have this, and I know this. There are a lot of HR people or a lot of teachers teaching HR, and we found out in a study before that almost all of them are not practitioners. So they actually teach from the case studies and the textbooks. So good if you're a HR practitioner and you're teaching in college or in the graduate schools. But there can be some problems if you are a through and through educator and you're teaching HRM. So the program is PMAP is sharing, these are the practitioners and then the professionals in PMAP are sharing their experiences and then what they call this real business cases to teachers so that they can already share this to the students so that there will be the transition from what the students in HR are learning will be each year. So this is a very nice program of PMAP wherein we enjoin teachers. This time it can be virtual. So from a party to Tagum, if you are teaching HR, behavioral science, or even management, before it was personal management, register and join this program with PMAP. Can we go to the other poster, please? The other one is, yes, this is the teach. There is day 1 to day 8. And I was actually insisting that the next batch, I am insisting to do my share. And this is actually just like the project share that Executive Director Rene Henner was doing before. I was part of that. We go to this time, the project share is that those HR that are a little bit seasoned with experience, we went to the chapters, and then the format is just sharing. It's a whole day of sharing of actual and factual experiences, and it's nice. And it's nice because this is what you call the new modes of learning. Can we go to the other poster, please? This one is the PMAP research program, what do you call this project, wherein they have a PMAP research conference come October 1. But they are asking us to submit abstracts for any research-based activities or programs that you have done, and then you can submit it, and there will be announcement of accepted abstract, and then you'll have the time to present what we have done, and it will be nice. Then we can share it. You know, when I was president in 2016, I already mentioned that even in the Philippine Society for Talent Development, You know, I was mentioning, and I was with Pipi Bong Ostero. We were mentioning that there are a lot of graduate schools wherein they have master's degrees, doctorates. The topic of the researches and the topic of their thesis, the subject of their thesis are actually HR. Why don't we collect and collate them? And this is a nice thing because these are already studied. It is just a matter of collecting and collating. But this time, PMAP is asking us to submit. These are 4 corporate members. Even if you are not, I check it. Even if you are not with PMAP, you can submit your, what do you call this, your framework, a research-based activity that you have done, and then share it with the world. Do not keep it. This is the time that you must be able to share what you have done to advance HR. Mr. Gilbert Kamazura is here, and he's actually the one championing advancing HR. And this is one way of advancing HR. If you have something that you know, share it. Let me share this with you. Because of Ma'am Sandy, I am one of those who started the one-shop thing in HR, and then that one of the integration with the employee services. And I am one of those who started of having a what do you call this, a children's area. I forgot the term for that. You know, at the time we were 4, and I remember HR people were visited me in Inquirer. It was a bit small, but you know, the idea is there. Can we go to the, yes. So those are projects of PMAP that we should support. So let us continue. Can we spot on Marvin? Yes. And also Marvin Zoilo now. Retention is exclusively equated with employee engagement activities, but it starts from recruitment experience. The hiring journey should not set the tone of the stay by starting it right all the way to their career progression until retirement. Ophel is here, and I know Ophel is a master on onboarding. I know that. And this is Marvin, we got this from PP Jerry, that you know at this time we must be able to make sure that our employees love their job. And Femery spot it on. That is trying to align the vision, mission. We should start with the mission. The mission, vision, goals, values of organization to the personal mission, vision, and goals. This is a little bit difficult, but we have to catch up. We have to be agile because the problem is how we can make sure that our employees are engaged and performing while on a lockdown. Chismis. I know this. Chismis time. You know, I have a friend who is an HR in a government GOCC. She's actually complaining because that's it. The culture. Now that they're just being asked to the alternative and then only a little percent, people are not really used to produce, to perform when they are at home. And that is her problem. Are you listening, Jerry? Are you listening? Are my friends listening? Totoong problema ito, ha? She's a dear friend of mine. I think she's a PMAP member. She called me up. Sabi niya, you know, Jessie, I can now really feel it. The performance there of that GOCC is very slow. Naku, we need investors in people here, Jerry. Mark Hernandez has a comment. Mark Hernandez, kasi we spot on Mark. Oh, yes, I would like to read. How we could be of help to the rebound, wear out management hat, understand the business needs first, then align the projects or interventions in mind. Yes, this is not a second question. Thank you, Mark, for starting the conversation. On how we could help on the rebound, wear our management hat. And that is the problem, Mark, for HR who are not yet there on what they call this, carrying the the various hats that we have, the various roles that we have. Understand the business needs first, then align the projects or interventions in mind. These are now what you call the traditional HR. You just look into the timekeeping, you just look on the payroll is paid on time, you just look that somebody was absent, and then you follow the process of what you call the discipline, but you forgot that role that you are actually must be doing your contribution to management. So the next topic is the HR imperatives and priorities on how we can rebound, on how we can recover. Jerry, I would like to know your insights. And then Gilbert also. So do you think what are the imperatives? What are the priorities? My take is actually on training. This is the time I think that HR should focus on learning and development. And I think it's more on the leadership development. Now that they are at home, now that they are actually just a little bit slowing down, this is the time that you have to do learning and development. Eric Del Castillo, my handsome friend, is here. Present mentor, Jessica, thank you. Okay. Jamie is a dear friend. Oy, ang ganda-ganda mo, Jamie, ha? Kita ko sa Facebook. We can measure employee engagement by the ability and willingness of staff to exert extra effort for the benefit of the company, especially during these difficult times. Right. Alam mo, ito, Jamie, this is now the collaboration between the leader, the supervisor, and HR, and trying to really look into the engagement and then the contribution of each and everyone. And I think, Jamie, may add, they have to provide incentive. They have to give a little bit of recognition. Kasi ngayon makikita mo kung sino yung may malasakit. Ngayon makikita mo, I know this, I don't want to mention, even with an organization that I am very much engaged with, malalaman mo, may mga empleyado that they can work, you can call them even after office. May mga empleyado that after 5, no na. As if napagod to think that they are in their homes. Alam mo kung bakit? May online something. O yun, mag-chismis na naman ako sa inyo. So makikita mo ang malasakit ng tao. Yeah, I also have one. I have a student of mine wherein the problem is actually in one of the HMO. Nakikita doon eh. Sabi niya, bakit sir mayroon kami mga empleyado? Ako nga ang HR, I am working from home, they can call me anytime. But you know when they call them? No. As if na talagang 8 to 5 pa ang buhay ngayon. Yes. So, Cherise, training about resilience. Okay, this is now on the second topic. Cherise, training about resilience is trying and challenging times. In these trying and challenging times. Yeah, for all those who are here, my friends, who are helping me discuss this topic, we are now on the second topic we're in. What are the imperatives and what will be our priorities? And then I am with Cherise. It's actually training. Mine is leadership. Cherise on resilience and training about resilience. Yes. You must have it. And it should be now. Alam mo yung wala kaming budget. Saan kaya gagamitin yung budget? And you need it kasi you feel it. You feel it. People are complaining. People they want really to work. They're a little bit with the lockdown that we have, it's actually affecting our normal life. So I think there should be an intervention on resilience. Yes, I agree with you, Cherise. Yes, Jerry here. Jerry, the past President Jerry, to rebound and thrive in uncertain future, organization must take culture transformation more seriously. And Jerry, it has to be now. The culture transformation, it has to be as quick as we can do it. Leaders must acquire new mindsets and skill sets to drive the transformation journey. So all those HR are listening to us, Jerry and Cherise, and then Marvin here. Yes, why not even next week, Lenten period, ask for a, what do you call this, an emergency budget, and then come up with a learning event. I have a program on this. I did this one in Prima, and I also in Echo. Teaching them about resilience, changing the culture, which is why I had that topic. And it has to be done. You know, sometimes the problem is it's only confined in the HR department, in the HR circle. Sometimes operations or other departments are not really keen on what Jerry has just mentioned, on the culture. And we are actually experiencing it now. There should be no more silos. And again, we go back to what Mark earlier mentioned, Mark Hernandez, that we have to really look into our heart that we are part of management. Yes, priority, can we spot on my dear friend Mark Hernandez. Mark, inggit match ako sa mga bisikleta mo, ha? Priority is business survival first. Yes. So, little we're now coming into the priority. So, training, and I think this is before the training. Priority is on the survival first. Mark and Jerry, can you expound on this? How can really HR, what are the activities that HR should do to this priority of business survival? You know, let us give them, what do you call this? Simple idea na anong contribution ng HR to ensure that the business will survive. Sige nga. We still have time, and I would like to ask from our dear friends, what do you think what are the activities that HR should do? Pwede nang ipasok natin yung last topic, which is actually yung roles. What are your pressing roles? So with this, na-identify na natin training and then the business continuity, but how and what will be our role? Charisse here, I love this conversation, and I really love. Charisse, can we spot on Charisse? Also a program about wellness, even when you are at home. So Charisse, paano yan, ha? Nagsabi ko, mag-prioritize tayo. Jerry, help me here. Ophel, help me. Femeric, help me here. Business continuity, training, and there is wellness. So let's have what you call, of course, the answer depends on the organization, on what are the needs, di ba? But let us try to enlighten our colleagues. What are really the things that we should do now? Okay, let us spot on Ophel, sharing from Harvard Business Corporate Learning recent findings and recommendations to look into the pivotal leadership clusters. Live through uncertainty. Ang galing-galing talaga ni Ma'am Ophel. Cultivate trust. Reskill for opportunity. I'll repeat. Live through uncertainty. So, dapat even before yung HR, nagkaroon na siyang upgrading, confident na siya ng kanyang leadership ability, yung kay Ulrich, the 5 roles of leadership na you have to be a leader, then cultivate trust. Ophel, yan ang pong mahirap, Ma'am Ophel. How that is the credible activist. How can you cultivate trust? No, we have to be agile and reskill for opportunity to build digital influency. Okay, these are the priorities. Can we go on to the next one? Femery here, my dear friend Femery. Priority for HR must transform itself first. Grabe ka talaga, Femery. Yes. Talagang sweet. Diba? Short but sweet. Tama, very impactful. HR must transform itself first, and it should be now. That is the first priority. that it is not anymore the traditional personal management, but you are now thinking of the culture, you are now thinking of the organization mission and vision. Jamie, what is this? Well-being and caring programs to support employees can be one of the HR priorities. Well-being and caregiving programs. Yes, I agree. At this time, if we should actually skip the service that we do if you cannot really do it fast, but really do some FGD and make your actually a needs analysis right away and come up what Jamie has been telling us here. Mark Hernandez. Mark, we have to rally our troops that now more than ever that we have to work together. I know that. I heard your president discuss that in the recent PMAP event. Mark, can you what do you call this? Put it in the chat box, your organization. I don't want to be magkamali. We have to rally our troops now that more than ever that we have to work together. Pero the question there, Mark, is how to rally. To stretch in achieving the business goals. Good if you are still on face-to-face, but for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we will still be on a lockdown. That is now my concern. So thank you, Mark, for that. Then we have Ophel, agree with Charisse, focus on mental wellness. Yes. Nako, ang daming nating gagawin, no? So talagang, mabubuang ang HR ngayon. HR is actually on the lead. HR is actually, our roles is actually needed. So, modify the employee benefits to promote employee well-being. Right? Jamie, next time, can you come up with a list on how we can modify benefits to promote employees? I'm talking here, Jamie, of my students who are actually HR from 12 to 23 to 55 to 120 to 200. These are small and medium enterprises. And these are actually mga HR. They are managerial level, but they need ideas from more seasoned and experienced HR. So we have well-being and caring. We have to rally out, agree with Charisse. We now go back to Ophel, cultivate trust. For this is to happen, one must be trustworthy, keeping commitments, being honest, doing the right thing always. Right. Very nice advice that we must do as HR. Let us share this episode so that those in HR or even leaders or even owners must be able to capture this and do it right away. There can be a break during next week because it's Holy Week, but try already to plan that come April 5, you are the new HR favorite. Mention it already. Transform right away. Now I can remember, family, what we did with PSTDs during your term. PSTDs vision, which is actually we learn, we grow, and we transform. Right. And that at the time, our chairman was our dear friend, Ma'am Ophel Orcanes. And I can still remember that we were in Tagaytay and we were able to craft that. Okay. Modify the employee benefits. Then, yes. Mark Hernandez, South Pacific Inc. For all those who are watching and are going to watch this, try, Mark, can we just, hindi naman cut and paste, pero which is why we have what we call best practices so that we can emulate. We can emulate, which is why we have awards and we can have sharing of best practices. And then I was listening to your president, Mark, and then you are doing it well. You are doing it well. I for one, I'm not pulling your leg, but I was listening to you, and then you are doing it well in your organization because I'm very sure you're part of it. That what you just mentioned, rally your troops. This is the time that we have to rally your troops. Oy, ako nga, may personal chismis ako ha. Diyos ko, yung nami-mention kong kasambahay na si Jojo, he already left. You know, why not for anything else? Nagkabuntis at nag-asawa na. Oh, sabi ko nga, alam mo yung sinabi ko lang, Jojo, ngayong pang-pandemic and I need you most. But you know, I understood him. He's already in his early 20s and he has to have a family. Diba? So, yun na nga ang sabi, rally your troop at this time that you are in the pandemic. Ala, tama si Femery. Iba naman yung personal mission and vision niya sa mission and vision of the house. Yes, Mark and Fernandez, thank you very much. Oh naman, Diyos ko naman si Mark, I know where credit should be given. You know, at this time, what do you call this, si JP Orbeta at si Mr. Nick Clean of Ayala and Dokongwei, you know, when they talk, I listen. Because it's nice that what they're doing, it's evidence-based and, you know, tama, you can just, diba? It's not actually copy, benchmark with them. Kasi kaya nga, Jerry, help me here. That's the difference between HR as a practice and HR as a profession. Diba? It's still a practice kasi what is good for them may not be good for you, but you can actually study and then try to see if you can use it. Now, let's go back to our topic. We are actually over time already. Can we have your last post, all of us here? So what are the pressing roles? So it's about business continuity, it's about wellness, the priorities. So what are the pressing roles? So what is actually the role now of the HR? Diba? Ano ang role dapat nun? Ikaw ba yung pa rin yung HR na pasaway? Or ikaw yung HR na talagang parang wala lang. You're yung HR for HR. So, what do you think? What is the pressing role of HR now that we are here in this bubble, in this circuit breaker? In their circuit breaker. Umpisahan ko. One is the role of being the father or the mother. Diba? Diba? By the way, read that one that I posted on Pope Francis's clarification on the role of the Mother Mary. She's the mother of the church, but not the Redeemer. So, dun lang, malalaman na natin kung ano ang role. Ma'am Femery, I will forward that to you. Mayroong si Pope Francis about the role of Mother Mary. So, Marvin here, HR as a practice is when you get to understand the positive impact of a specific intervention to the organization. Right. So the first thing, magmuni-muni ang mga HR people. Kaya we have to understand the positive impact on our specific intervention. Is this the time that you're going to issue disciplinary action? Is it the time that you're going to actually do surveys and ask them to fill up forms? Right, Marvin? You have to look into that impact. Because you do not know, maybe, it is just HR for HR capriccio. You just want that you have the data with you, but you are actually giving stress to the people who should be actually be understood at this time. Jamie here, for example, offering new ways to support employees with their mental health, connect them with trained mental health practitioners and experts like Ateneo Bulatao. Yes, you know, I have a friend from Cabuyao, Aldon Place. Try to look for Cel Gonzalez. They really have a program for employees on mental health. It is not that you enroll your employees because they are a little bit, diba, some issues on them. No. Or what you can do is a trainer's training that we can ask your leaders or your mentors be abreast on what they should intervene as regards mental health. I have a program on that. I did that in Baguio. These are actually for leaders. Right, Jamie, that is actually correct. And that has to be now. Next week agad. Magpaano kayo ng an appreciation on how you are going to start a conversation on mental health. Then we have Ophel here. Okay. We have to show more role models. Right, Ma'am Ophel? Ang mahirap yung HR pa rin, ang nag-iinarte. We can only have people follow if they see our positive character and that we are competent. Character and competence. You know, I have a story for you, Ophel. Diba? Of course, we have Abigail Arenas de Leon, and then we have Dinah Lubis telling us what is your total online presence. You know, once I attended a Zoom meeting where there was some HR. Alam mo yung HR, wala nang lipstick, Ophel. Di ko magagalit ka niyan. Alam mo ko si Femery magagalit niyan. Diba? It is actually an L&D executive of a big organization. Kaya hindi siya nagpapakita. Bakit? Ay nako, yung kanyang buhok. At wala siyang ka-makeup. And then, how dare we insist that our people, when they are on the screen, they have to be properly, branding. Right, Ophel? For people to follow, we must be role models. Alam yan ni Femery, ang mini-mention ko. Yeah. Paano ka masunod? Paano ka maging credible na ikaw mismo ay hindi gumagawa? And then another story. Mayroon sila sa kanilang values, agility. Diyos ko yung payment sa akin, 2 months. Agile talaga. No? Mas mabuti pa nga yung government. Yung government, at least 1 month. Ito, 2 months talaga yung payment. Pero nakalagay sa kanilang values, agility. Joke. Then Mark Hernandez, we have to show more compassion. Nako, I really love this conversation. Kanina role models, it is compassion. Balance the acts of management and the needs of employees. That we put our people first, business will then thrive. Right. So it's actually, sabi nga, balance. We really have to take a pause and can try to look into our roles. What are the pressing roles? Balance where we are going to start. And then siguro you can just call on Gilbert, Jerry, Ophel, Charisse, Marvin, and myself and help you. This is the time you need a mentor. Kasi talaga, dapat magtatanong ka, Sir Jess, saan ako mag-umpisa? Diba? And do it quickly. Do it quickly. Napapatawa ko si Ophel. Do it quickly, huh? So this time, it's such a Thursday. Then we have the Holy Week. Dapat come April 5, there is something that we must be able to do already. And this conversation must be motivating and inspiring HR people that you must know what are your pressing roles, what are your priorities that you must do, what are the activities that you must do. Diba? Okay. Phil here still has a point. Then after this, I will conclude. Yeah, if you look good for meetings, it shows that you respect the people you are meeting with. It shows they are important to you. We should avoid saying, ikaw lang naman, ka-meeting ko. Right, Ophel. Mag-PM tayong tatlo ni na ano. Yeah, we have to be role models. We have to be role models. Kasi nga, You must be inspiring. I think that is actually the pressing role. The pressing role is we have to be role models. Pero ang tanong naman dyan, Ophel, what role? Malay mo naman, medyo yung kanyang mindset, iba. Alam mo, I would like to conclude. And then this is actually dedicated for family, Ophel, and Jerry, and Gilbert, and Mark. Early in my life, when I was still in college, I was a member of, I forgot the name, but it was actually moral rearmament. I think one of the priorities that we should quickly do is to really have a moral rearmament. You know, a lot of things happen. There should be no blaming anymore. That includes me and you. Because the question is, what are the pressing roles? What are the priorities that we must do? Thanks for the pandemic. It is actually surfacing the positivity and the possibility that the pandemic has actually shown us. And I think it is more on, right, Mark, taking care of people than the business continuity. Right, Jamie? Right, Charisse? It's more on the mental health. It's more on how we take care of them. But I think, right, family, we start with the HR transformation. And I think Jerry will agree with me. It's moral rearmament. And then I think we can start with that. It's not that I'm trying to pontificate. I am a very grounded and humble person, but this is what I can see. A family here has a post out there. HR must create an ecosystem consisting not only of internal but also external partnership to promote data sharing and capability building. Right, family? Oh, I like your thoughts. And then I can also recall Tita Puangco was also mentioning of that ecosystem. Jerry was there when Ma'am Tito was mentioning that. Can we guys spot on again, Ma'am Family? Spot on natin si Ma'am Family kasi kung hindi natin basahin yun talagang mahirap intindihin. I will read it slowly. HR must create an ecosystem consisting not only of internal but external partnership. Right. That means that we cannot be on our own. We need to really network and ask, benchmark, and ask help on how we can advance to promote data sharing and capability building at this time. Thank you very much, family. Ophel, moral rearmament. Wow, your morals are your greatest weapons, right? You know, Ophel, that is actually that one that I would like to emphasize now. That now that we are getting old, and I think we have to share this to the younger HR, that there is a need for moral. Ikaw kasi Mark nagsabi ka kasing rally the troop. So pumasok tuloy sa akin, military. Family, tanong mo yan kay General Bong. Moral rearmament. Diba? We have to really, there should be, make your own programs. Make your own programs. Kasi dapat hindi ito cut and paste. Basta the subject is moral rearmament. And it has to follow what it is. The physical, the mental, the spiritual. Rearm everybody. And then I think we will be able to actually, this can be antidotes to our mental health. There is still, what do you call this? Mark, more power to you, Sir Jesse. Yes, we are already over time. I really would like to have a break on Holy Week. So I will still have one on Saturday. All of those who are here, let's meet on Saturday. It is right after the mentors orientation of the PMAP Leadcom. After that, let's all be here and let's discuss something light. And then we'll back the week after the Holy Week. You know, one thing, I got this from Mama Rixie, that let us respect the Lenten season. So I asked Marvin here, Director Marvin, that though it's nice that we can have our show on the Holy Week because people are just there at home, but you know, I opted that let's have that time for some recollection, some, what do you call this, nilay-nilay, pagmuni-muni. And of course, now thinking of what we just discussed, and then do it right away. That is actually the time that we have to pause and then think of things that we can do. So there goes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, my dear friends. This is one way of sharing to the HR community. We discussed what are the priorities that they could do, and also what are the pressing roles that they should have to make sure that their human resources are actually confident, they are actually performing even at these challenging times, and that we are making them ready when everything settles down in God's time. Thank you, my dear friend. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo. Just marvelous po.